Hello. So, part 3. We are going to start on all fours. So can you please just join me at the end of your mat, feet hip distance apart. Let me just move that circle out of the way. And of course you want either a hardback book or a block, if you have one, but a hardback book will suffice just fine. And a cushion just by the side of your mat for at this point when we're coming down onto the floor as well, okay? So just make sure you've got them ready. Toes hip distance apart, tailbone under. Let's inhale up. Let's exhale, monkey squat, hands to the thighs. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, gently come down onto all fours. Now I am just going to take my cushion and place it underneath the foot of my right foot. So it's just got a little bit of extra cushioning. So let us come down onto all fours. Let us have our hands beneath our shoulders, our knees beneath our hips. So we should have a nice 90-degree angle going on here and a nice straight line down from the shoulders to the elbows to the wrists. Now remember, if it's uncomfortable in the wrists, we can come onto our fists. That means you're going to have either your knuckles facing forward. You might find it more comfortable to have your palms facing in towards one another. You could also take up a rolled towel to rest your hands on. That's going to take the pressure off the wrists a little bit, okay? So core is strong. We're pushing the tailbone to the back of the room, drawing the shoulder blades slightly together. So we should have a nice tabletop back, okay? So remember, I always say I should be able to put my roast on your back, my Sunday roast, pour lashings of gravy, and there is no gravy spillage. So all we're going to do here is just some lumbar tuck. So we're going to tuck the tailbone under and then lift it up towards the ceiling. So we tuck and lift. We tuck and lift. Tuck and lift. Nice and steady. Controlled. So bringing movement into the lumbar spine. Really nice, really steady. So let's just have 2 more of these. Tuck under, level it out. Tuck under, level it out. Nice and steady. Shoulders relaxed. Staying in that position for me. We're going to just tap one leg back at a time. So, just looking behind me to see where I am. So, I'm just going to move slightly forward on my mat, because otherwise I'm going to knock my chair. So, we're staying in that all fours position. Nice and strong, knees are beneath the hips. All we're going to do is take one leg back and tap, bring it down. Take one leg back, tap. Now, I'm just going to take this cushion out of the way while I do this bit. So, as we're coming back, what I want you to be conscious of, and I know I just did it then, is keeping your hips level as you tap behind. So it's like almost as if you're contemplating pushing back into a plank. We're not going to do plank, but we're just tapping behind, core engaged, nice and steady. So my tailbone's still tucked under, my shoulder blades still drawing together. I'm nice and solid in my core. The reason we're not going to do plank is because I won't be able to demonstrate it with my toes. And I'm convinced I can't do it with just one leg. Tucked under, I'll probably just collapse in a heap. So we're just practicing. So nice and steady. So this time, when you take your right leg back for me, just take it back and I want you to just hold it there. Core strong and engaged. Hips level, shoulders level, just for 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in, do the same with the opposite side. So take it out, hold it there. Core engaged, nice and strong. Just for 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently bring it back. Take your knees as wide as your mat. Ready for shell stretch. Now remember, we can always take a cushion between the bum and the thigh if we need to. We're pushing back so we can put a cushion in between the bum and the thigh. The bum and the thigh, the bottom and the calves, let's say. Head comes down. We could be resting the head on a cushion if we need to. Letting the arms reach out. Remember, if shell pose is uncomfortable in your hips and in your knees, we can keep the knees facing forward. We can have a reach out in front and push the bum up in the air, which is going to take the pressure off the hips and the knees if that's more comfortable for you, okay? So you go with what feels right for you. And I want you to just hold that stretch for a few moments. We've worked a lot there. And it's also been really tiring in the wrists. So we're going to have a nice little stretch out in the wrists as well. So just nice and steady. Tucking that tailbone under. Breathe in nice and deep as you do this. So now let us take our hands, forearms up towards the ceiling. Let's just take our hands into a fist, roll the wrist in, and then release. So roll it in, then release. Roll it in, and release. Roll it in, and release. Roll it in, and release. Just for 4, nice and steady, 3, and 2, 1, and relax. Just roll them in one direction, roll them in the opposite direction, and then very gently come back onto all fours. So, just going to take that cushion out of the way again. So we're on all fours, hands beneath the shoulders. Remember, we can be working on the wrists, on the fists if that's more comfortable. Knees beneath the hips, core nice and engaged. So I'm just going to move slightly out from the wall. So, ouchie. So, tailbones towards the back of the room, shoulder blades are joined together. You're going to take opposite arm and leg out to the side, and then you're going to take them out on a diagonal angle, and then back, and bring it back in. We'll then do the other side. So we lift up, arm and legs are level. We go out to the side. I know I've got a chair in the way. Out to the side. And slightly broken toe, so I'm being very careful on that side. And then bringing it in, coming back. So extend out. Now shoelaces for, I've got my toes tucked under on that side. Out to the side, back, and in. So, I'm going to move even further across, just so I've got more room. So, nice and steady as you go, alternating the sides. You extend out to the front. Breathing in, breathe out. So we have a breath in, a breath out, a breath in, a breath out, okay? So breath in as you extend out, breath out as you go to the side, breath in as you bring it central, breath out as you come back. So nice and steady, control, taking your time. Why do I always do this after lunch? Nice and steady, regretting eating lunch today. I had to take the windows of opportunity when my husband has a break from work to try and get these little bits done. It's always after I've eaten, always regretting it. So nice and steady. Remember, those eyes need to be looking down towards the floor. Bringing it in. Last one. And then bring it back and relax. Come into shell one last time. So knees as wide as your mat. If that's comfortable, remember, big toes together, let the head relax between the arms or on a cushion. Or remember, we can stay with the knees facing forward and the bum in the air and the arms reaching out. Hold it there for me. So just nice and steady, breathing deep, big toes together. I've got mine just slightly crossed. I found a little sneaky way that I can do this stretch actually just then. So if I put my foot across so far, it's not on the floor, I can actually get into shell stretch, and it's quite, because this is one of my favourite stretches. Such a comfortable stretch, really nice for opening up the hips and pelvis. So if you're finding yourself sitting down a lot, this is really nice to do. So just relaxing there, breathing deep. Excuse my heavy breathing. Now very gently, let's just tuck the tailbone under, come back onto the forearms. And again, just let's roll the wrist in one direction and then roll in the opposite direction. So nice and steady. And then very gently come back up onto all fours. So we are doing press ups. So you'll want your cushion and your hard back book. So nice and steady. We are going to take the block or your hard back book, then your cushion goes on top. Hands want to be either side of your mat, knees are beneath the hips. Now remember, we've got different options. So we have box like so, where you come down like so, or we can take the hands further out in front, come onto the front of the knees, come down and up, okay? So it's really your call. So hands either side of your mat, shoulder width and a half apart if you haven't got a mat, if you do it on a towel, let's say, or without. So core is engaged, tailbone's pushing to the back of the room. I'm just going to go for a simple box. In fact, for that simple box, I think I can remove my cushion. So nice and steady, I'm going to come down and move a little bit across my mat actually. So I'm going to come down, I'm going to breathe in, going to breathe out, going to breathe in, breathe out. Let's take our time, breathe in. Exhale. So come down, hold for a moment, lift up. So I'm going to count that moment at the bottom. So come down, hold for 1, 2, lift. 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 Keep going. Hold for 1, 2, and up. Hold for 1, 2, and up. 4 more. Down, hold for 1, 2, and up. Down, hold for 1, 2, and up. Last 2. Down, hold for 1, 2, and up. Last one for me. Down, let's hold it this time, just for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 and a half, and up, and relax. Take your hard back book or book and take a seat upon your block or hardback book. So, nice and steady, sitting on your block or hardback book, you want your nice squidgy part of your bum to be on your block and the bones of your bottom to be at the edge of the block, okay? So we're going to do a seated row. I'm going to do it with nothing, but it doesn't mean you can't do it with dumbbells, weights. I know last week, I think when we did this, I used the Heinz beans. So you can use weights, you could use a band around your feet if you so wish. In fact, I'm going to take my circle and just use that. Okay, so feet hip distance apart. I definitely don't want my legs flat to the floor. I want to have a bit of space between the floor and my legs, my knees. So I'm going to bend my knees, sit nice and tall. Oh, I feel like I'm driving my car. Literally sitting on the steering wheel. So nice and steady, extend out in front and back. Extend out and back. And let's slow it right down. So we are going to come out to 3 and back to 1. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 and in. 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 1, 2, 3. Last time. 1, 2, 3 and in. Hold it here for a moment. This time we're going to go out to 1 and back to 3. So go out. 1, 2, 3 and 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 out. 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Keeping that height. And remember, you're breathing in as you take it out. So breathing in, breathing out. Last one. And relax. Take your circle, weights or band to the side. Sit your legs comfortably. Take your hands in front. Drop the chin. Oh, I can feel my toe is saying, really shouldn't have put any weight on me. My foot's having a little bit of a scream at me. So nice and steady, sitting there, let the head drop, pull those shoulder blades away from one another. Just enjoy that stretch for a moment. And then very gently, what I'd like you to do, I'm just going to turn to face you for this one. So I'm coming off my block. I want you to just take one hand and push the fingers, push the palm of the hands, push it back. So you're like so, get in that stretch. Hold it there for a moment. And then very gently, let's take it in the opposite direction. You're just going to do the same in the opposite direction. So again, just slight pressure. We're not trying to break our wrist by any means. Slight pressure. And then let's change over. So the other side. So we'll do that same, that second stretch first this time, nice and steady. And then lift, push it back. And then release, shake it out. So we're going to work the legs now, and we're going to do the side leg series. So remember, if we have any shoulder issues, we can take our block, take our cushion, and we could rest our head. Now, we are going to use the circle. If you do not have a circle, that's absolutely fine. I will talk you through how you can do it. So I'm going to take my legs through the circle, and I want them, let's move this microphone, and I want it so that when I come onto my side, let's unclip that. Oh, sorry, just deafening you all, just checking your hearing's working there. So as I come onto my side and I straighten my legs out, the circle should be midway between my legs, and I'm holding it, you can see, with what I'm pushing against. So if we've got shoulder issues, we would extend the arms out like so, and this would stop us from putting any pressure into the shoulders if we've got shoulder issues. If you do not have a shoulder issue, you could just take the cushion and have that under your arm, okay? So it's up to you. First things first, core is nice and strong. We can have one hand in front, offering support, fingers spread out, splayed out, other hand rests on the side. We could have our arm on the side, we could have it on the hip, or we could even lift it up, making it more challenging because you've got a bigger leverage, you've got more chance of being less stable, swaying forwards and backwards. So it's really up to you. I'm going to go for option one, put my hand on the floor. And my core's nice and strong. I want my ankles, my knees, my hips, my shoulders to all be in alignment. And then what I'm going to do is in that nice straight line, I'm going to push up and lift and down. Push up and lift and down. Coming up and down. I'm inhaling, I'm exhaling. It's not a huge movement. I need to be keeping tension on that circle. So if you've got a band wrapped around there, then you'd be keeping that tension on the band. Or if you did the belt again, like I mentioned earlier on, you'd be keeping that tension on the belt. So we could be using a circle, a band, or a belt round the lower calves. So 2 more. Last one. God, I hate this exercise. Excuse me for taking the Lord's name in vain. Lift, hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Bend that top leg out. Maybe it's just mine that's like really dying from that exercise. I hope not. I have just kind of had a good few lazy days though, I must admit. So nice and steady. Giving it a rub. Before we do the other side, we're going to do some imprints. I'm just going to take that off. I'm going to roll onto my back. With imprints, I can still have a cushion if I so wish. So all I'm going to do is laying on my back. I want my neutral spine to be in position. So I've got that little bit of hollowing in my back. Unless you've got a flat back, and you're going to know if you've got a flat back. That means you'd just be constantly, there'd be no space between you and the mat. So, oh gosh, I really shouldn't have had oxtail soup today. So feet are hip distance apart. I apologise for my moaning. So feet are hip distance apart. And remember, if you're not sure, bring them together. Mary Poppins, heels out. Hands just rest by the side. And we've got our pelvic floor engaged, our abdominal belt. Our eyes want to be looking up towards the ceiling. Make sure they're not looking behind. If they are, nod the chin. Make sure they're not looking in front. If they're looking in front, lift the chin. And very gently rock the tailbone up towards the ceiling, imprinting the lower back, imprinting the mid back, imprinting the upper back. And then very gently release the upper back, the mid back, the lower back. So you've got that neutral position. So we rock, imprint, imprint, and then release very gently. So what we're basically getting is, as we imprint and we took the tailbone up and we imprint that lower back, the mid back, the upper back, there is no space between the body and the mat, where you're just completely one. We and the mat are one. Then we release the upper, mid, lower, we get that neutral spine. And we're just repeating this. And this is just a fantastic exercise to be doing to get you going first thing in the day, or any time in the day really. You know, if you've been lifting and moving stuff, or you've been sat down, hunched over, or sat lounging on the sofa and the lower back aches, this is a great exercise to just do, to just loosen everything back up, get that synovial fluid moving around the lumbar spine. Whenever, like if I find my back is aching, if I have the opportunity to just lay on the floor and do this, or just do standing rocking tilts, I will, because it does make a difference. It really does. It can really ease out the back a little bit, that lower back when it's feeling stiff or unhappy. And I'm breathing in as I tuck and I imprint, and I'm breathing out as I release the imprint. So let's just have 3 more of those. And last one, and then relax. We're going to come back over onto our side, but we need to do the opposite side. So I'm going to change direction on the mat, but you could just roll away from the TV if you feel comfortable in what you're doing. So nice and steady, just rolling onto the other side. And again, remember, you can use the block and cushion if you've got shoulder issues. Taking that ring circle, you can have your band. I need to adjust this microphone, it's really echoey, isn't it? Don't want to deafen anybody. So as I come down, I've got my legs in a nice straight line. I'm placing one hand in front to give me stability, but I could have it on my hip, I could have it on the side. If I really wanted to challenge myself, I could have it up above. Fingers are splayed out if it's down on the floor. Core's nice and strong, slight flex in the feet, lift up and down, lift up and down. Keeping the tension in the circle, the band or the belt, whatever you've got. Breathing in. Controlled. Hips, shoulders, knees, ankles, all stacked. Nice and steady. Controlled. So let's have 4 more. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1, hold it up just for 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down, bend that top knee out. Oh, give it a pat and a rub. And we are all done on side leg series. Just before you get your hopes up, hey, it's over, yay! No. So that's end of part 3. I'm going to pop the circle to the side because we're still going to use this. I'm going to stop and record and start the next one. And we're going to start with pelvic bridge. So you're going to need to be on your back, and you do not want a cushion underneath your head unless you know you have an overextension, and we normally prescribe you a cushion or a towel underneath your neck during session. Okay, so I will just come across. Oh, you have to excuse me getting up and down at the moment. So well done. Next